I'm joined by Zven after a up and down 2-0. At least you won. That's the
Yeah.
that's the end goal. So your former jungler Spica was actually hate watching.
Yeah, dude, I saw that. It was so fucking funny.
And he has a lot of statements as to why he hates you. So we're gonna go through them.
Yeah, I saw
and you
this.
can
It's
address
so
them
fucking
one by
funny.
one.
27 years old.
Yeah.
Number 2, into me on Dignitas.
Not true.
Number 3, sniped me when I was 1 game away from rank 1.
True. And I won.
Number 4, called me bad words.
True.
Number 5, tall.
True.
Number 6, I hate his smile.
Fair enough.
Number 7, always lose lane.
Not true. Slander.
Slander.
Objection.
Number 8, European chat. Yep, dies every mid wave.
Yeah, pretty often.
Sometimes.
Every other
It
video.
happens.
Plays Corky every game.
That's like fair, I think, to hate for that.
Tall again. Yep, tall. Hate tall people, bro. Piss me off.
I don't know why he hates the fact that you're tall.
I think you know why.
You're tall, but what is it tallness for? You sit in a desk all day.
Well, I have a job. He doesn't.
Probably isn't a LeBron fan.
I'm not a LeBron fan.
1v9s against me.
True.
I think he's schizo posting, honestly.
I agree. He wrote to me on the Tournament Realm client something like, "Fuck you, I'm hate watching, hope you lose."
That's crazy. So with League dying, I've actually decided to pursue comedy. So can I try a joke on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit me.
So are you familiar with like the superhero movies?
Like Marvel and shit.
Do you think Thor could play in the LTA? I think he low-key could.
That's supposed to be like a pun, like a
Yeah,
freak.
because like Loki or mid laner. That's pretty good, no?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
The
so
whole squad laughing.
anyways, moving on. You went from Team McDonald's to Dignitas to Team McDonald's, and now you're back on C9. So run me through what kind of played a part in your decision making, because obviously previously you played with Vulcan and Blabber, so some former teammates in there. What made you pick C9 over others?
To be honest, Dignitas was more like a stepping stone. You know, using them to get on a good team. I think Fly and TL both didn't want to make changes, which makes sense. They had pretty good years. They want to split each. They went to Worlds and stuff. And their AD carries are pretty good, I think, overall. So they're not an option. I think with Fly and TL out, C9 is the only one that can contend. So when they came to me in season, I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, because when you originally lane swap, or role swap rather, because you're in the same lane, when you role swap to support, you mentioned how Berserker was one of the few AD carries you were willing to play support for.
Yeah.
And I feel like the AD carry pool has gotten better since then. So
Overall, maybe, yeah.
is there a reason why you chose to not stay at support then? Like, do you think you can compete with the top?
I thought at the time, after 23 Worlds, that I didn't think that, like, at that time, that LYON or Masu or someone like that was better than me. Berserker, at the time when I agreed to play support in C9, it was because it was kind of like a weird year where, like, it was in the middle of the off-season, or like between splits, right? Between spring and summer. So I didn't really have time to, like, find a different team. And most teams don't want to change their ball lanes in between splits, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if I play support for C9, I could probably win a split. It's likely, it's possible. But if I change now to a lower tier team as ADC, it's a low chance of winning the split and going to Worlds. So I chose C9. Then we won the split, and I was like, okay, I like winning, so let's go one more year, see what happens. And then we won another title, went to another finals, and I was like, okay. But then after Worlds 23, it was obvious that it wasn't going to work out long term. I didn't feel like I had the skill set to be world class. And that feeling like you're like, you know, skill capped or whatever, you can't get any further, it's like the worst feeling ever. So back to ADC we go.
Yeah, I think C9 has also had a really interesting journey in terms of the way their PR has functioned in the past couple of years. I think a lot of people were upset with some of the import choices. So how do you personally feel about the team? Do you feel like they're focused on winning? Because I feel like a lot of people feel like they're just trying to do the whole import and win. What do you think about the team behind the scenes that fans might not see?
I mean, I don't know about the import versus regional player situation. I'm always an import, so I sound like a little biased, but I think there's like a fine line between Loki is better than the alternative for us. So we take Loki, right? It's like we had options. I don't want to say who, but we had certain resident players in mid lane that were up for contention. We had
I
like
feel
a
like I have
whole,
some thoughts, yeah.
we had a whole channel about it. We talked about it. Like We had VODs, we had POV, we had pro games, all the players, and we thought, okay, with Loki, we will have issues with communication in the first couple of months, maybe even half a year. But he's so much better than this other guy who's a resident. Is it worth it? Yeah, I think so. So it's like we weigh up and downs, and like for Korean imports, the only problem is speaking the language, right? Communication. And it's something that you can learn relatively fast if you try hard, maybe 3 to 4 months, and you're okay, right? So we thought it was worth it. Yeah, that's it.
So it feels like a short-term investment. If anything, you might miss out on a little bit short-term, but ultimately you think long-term is worth the investment.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so what do you think, I mean, how was that game today? Because some of those players, like Henna previously played in the LCK, so I feel like in order to play in the LCK, you have to be pretty good. What did you think about the matchup today versus Lions?
I thought he played well. I think that it's a bit hard for me to play in the first game because I'm playing Ash versus Nocturne Oriana, and on every midway I'm like sweating for my life. I might get jumped on and killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And second game we're playing Stick versus Vars, which is kind of hard. I went to 4-5 in this round while he first picked in the first phase, so it's a bit hard with so many bans. Like they ban Kalista, they ban Corki, and then they pick Vars first pick. So I took a bullet for the team to have a better comp. I think it's worth it, but I think he played overall pretty well. I think he might be the best player today, honestly. I think LYON overall played pretty decent, given that they had so many visa issues, and their support players remote with 70 ping, I think.
Oh, 70 ping?
Yeah, maybe 60 or something. He's playing from, I don't know.
Mexico City.
Yeah, probably. It's like 60 or 70 ping. Yeah. I think they only had like 4 or 5 days of practice. So overall, I think they did pretty well. Because we had a boot camp and everything, and we had like 2 weeks of scrims. So overall, I think they played well. I think we were a little nervous at first. I think Loki said in the first game he skilled 2-punch W on Aurora. And he was like, a bit nervous and stuff, and we're like, it's fine, bro, we're gonna win anyways.
It's not that serious.
Then someone said, it's fine, we'll win anyways. He's like, okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, sure, we'll win.
No, because he seemed pretty like comfortable. How has it been playing with Loki? Because I feel like you're using that leadership role because you have so much experience. So how has it been integrating Loki, who's, I mean, this is his first tier 1 team?
Yeah, he's a very typical Korean guy. He's quiet, he's disciplined, he listens to the coach, listens to other people, and I think he's very good at taking feedback. And I think the more confidence he gets, the more happy he'll be to give it as well. I think right now he's taking kind of a just quiet carry role, which is good for him. But I think with more time, he can also step up more as he gets more comfortable with the team and speaking English.
I think the meta also for bot lane is in a really interesting spot because we saw Ashe, really high priority. I think Masu played it. And obviously, since it's Fearless, they couldn't play it again. You played it. I think Ashe and Varus are probably 2 of the best champions, but also there's a lot of mages that have come up in the meta. So what do you feel like about mage meta? Because I feel like a lot of AD carries don't like when it's non-traditional marksman. So how do you feel about the current meta?
I don't mind playing mages and stuff. I think it's a bit cringe when they're dominant, like when Wei and Seraphine and shit are like dominant champs.
No counterplay.
Yeah, I don't mind 6, for example. It's like, it's fine. I think it's been Ashe, Varus, Kalista for a while now.
Oh, for sure.
And I wouldn't mind it if it went to something else. Yeah, I think Fearless is cool. I think it makes it so that you don't play some sort of Ashe, Varus, Kalista matchup every single game.
Yeah.
Or like the good old, ban 3 on red side, something like that. Because AD carries like this where you ban Kalista, now Varus is the best. You ban Varus, now Ashe is the best.
Yeah.
It's like a tier list, right? So it's nice that like after 1 game of Ashe Varus, you play something else. And it shows who has the better champion pool. In best of 3s, it's not too big of a deal because I only play 2 games. But in like 4 or 5 games, I think it'll matter a lot.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people
You might see like, Kai'Sa versus Nila at some point. Or, like,
that'd be pretty hype.
Something funny, right?
Yeah.
So I like it overall. I think it's cool.
What's it been like being reunited with your former teammates? Because I think we've seen a lot in the LCS. I mean, Fudge over at Shopify is being reunited with Palafox, and also Zazel, kind of. He was coaching while Fudge was on the team. So what's it like playing with Vulcan specifically again?
Yeah, I mean, I think Phil and I had some issues in 21. That roster was kind of like hectic. There was a lot of issues internally, the whole roster. I think we kind of just ignored problems until they got too big to ignore, and then at the end of the year, people just felt burned out from everything. It was a very high intensity environment, and some people wanted to change, and I think that's fine. It wasn't really like, it wasn't like, I don't want to play with you. It was more like, I want to play with someone else for like, change of scenery kind of situation. And when it came to 25 season, I was like, in Dig, we struggle a lot with jungle and support, communicating, shot calling, making plans in the game. And I know Blabber and Vulcan don't have that problem. So I felt comfortable that when they tell me that Thanatos is good and the roster could be good, I was like, okay, yeah, I fuck with it. So I was like happy to come back to C9. Also, I know every person in C9. I know the managers. I know the coaches. I know every person from like the data team to the coaching staff to the managers to the office facility manager, like whoever it is, right? I know everybody, so I felt very at home, so to speak, in C9. So it's just very easy to go here.
Mm-hmm. So I think when it comes to the league, as you mentioned earlier, FlyQuest until didn't make any changes, and I think most people had them as the 1 and 2 interchangeably. I think, in my opinion, C9 is third, but a lot of people seem to be underrating you. Do you guys think there's a gap between you and Fly, you, Fly, and TL at the moment, or do you think you guys are close, or what do you think the current state of C9 is?
I mean, I haven't scrimmed FlyQuest much because they're in our bracket, right? Playing them next week.
Mm-hmm.
And TL don't do very well in scrims recently. So obviously, my perspective is Fly and C9, TL, everyone else. But it's also scrims, right? You never know. But I think that we're definitely on the level of Fly and TL at worst.
Yeah.
So I think we're up there with them.
That's fair enough. Do you have any words to Spica specifically?
Fuck you, Spica.
Fuck you, Spica. And any words to the fans? Hopefully not fuck you as well.
Oh, man.
Fuck you, fans.
I think today was a nice event. There was a lot of fans today at the venue. It was nice to see. I overall felt like a good vibe being back at the studios. It was almost full. It was nice to see. I had a good time. So thank you for watching and thank you for cheering for C9.
Yeah, thank you, fans, and fuck you, Spica. Thank you, Zven.